the KZN NPO Network, which consists of 47 NPOs, have launched a petition against the Social Development Department in the province over unpaid subsidies. The non-profit organizations say many people are negatively affected by these payment delays. In a statement released earlier this month, the department ensured all NPOs that they would receive their money by the end of October. Let's get you an update on the situation now. We're joined by the HOD in the Department of Social Development, that's for the province, Nelisiwe Vilakazi, and also Femada Shamam, who is with the KZN NPO Network. To both of you, thanks very much indeed for joining us. And I wonder, Femada, whether we can begin with you. What is the situation insofar as payments and delays, and what are the repercussions?
Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for having us on. So just to contextualize, the KZN NPO Network is a network of non-profit organizations working in KwaZulu-Natal, providing services to the most vulnerable groups. And we came together as a network to address this issue around the subsidies because of the impact on our beneficiaries. Around August this year, we received notification that there was going to be the road shows, and we were invited to attend the road shows where the new tranche payment system was being rolled out. And as a non-profit organization, we were quite excited that the tranche payment system was being introduced, because it meant that we moved from an arrears payment system to an advance payment system. So historically, non-profit organizations would be paid in arrears. They would provide the services, submit claims to the department, and they would then be paid out the subsidies based on the claims. So the new system makes sense because it means that non-profit organizations would receive the payments in advance. However, there were concerns that were raised by the non-profit organizations. Since 2022, there's been historical issues around the late payment of the subsidies. In some instances, some organizations were receiving their subsidies 2 months after they had provided the services. And while we understand that the service level agreement that we signed with the department does make provision for the arrears payment, the length of the delay impacted on non-profit organizations in a profound way and impacted on the cash flow, to the point where some organizations were not able to pay their staff members, were not able to meet their commitments for 2 months.
Sure.
And I think that's part of the issue, is around the late payment. I think the second issue that the non-profit organizations were challenged with was the fragmented communication that was coming through. So we were invited to the road shows. We received some of the documentation around that. But the rollout in terms of how the tranche payment system was going to happen was not communicated uniformly throughout the districts in KwaZulu-Natal. As a result, if you had an organization, for example, that was operating in different districts, they were receiving different communication from the local DSD offices. That makes planning very difficult, and it makes the rollout of services very difficult. So I think the fragmentation in terms of the communication, the late payment, the delays, those are some of the things that impacted. Early in October...
Femada, before you continue, I want to just bring in Nelisiwe Vilakazi, who is the HOD in the KZN Department of Social Development. Nelisiwe, of course, 2 months is an incredibly long time in the life of an NPO that not only has to pay its staff, but also has to deliver incredibly important services. How did this happen? Nelisiwe, are you still there? Can you hear us?
Yes. Good morning to you. Good morning to Femada. Yes, I can hear you.
All right. Go ahead.
Yes. Regarding the late payment, I don't think we went as far as 2 months, but in the main there was a delay in some instances where we had some technical glitches that we communicated with the non-profit organizations. of which she is referring to that as a historical late payment. But what we have done, we tried to improve our systems. For example, how the system works, you find that we sign a service level agreement with each NPO for a 3-year cycle. And thereafter, we then pay the subsidies monthly. Mm-hmm. So which means that the end of each month, the organization will forward claims and then we process the claims and then make payment. So we felt that because of some technical glitches in the process, we need to improve how we pay the non-profit organizations. I must indicate that we do have a structured way of communicating with the non-profit organizations. So we have communicated with the NPOs to say we want to introduce the tranche payments. The tranche payments, which then says that it's not that after each and every month the organization need to process the payment, the subsidy for that particular month. But if we pay you for a 3-month period, you are in a position to actually manage your finances much better. But I must indicate that not all NPOs qualified for this tranche payment. We have a very few number of them that did not qualify because of how they manage the finances, because we had to assess the risk. We wouldn't give you, for example, a 300,000 for 3 months, only to find that by the end of that first month, the entire allocation for 3 months is no longer there. So we had to do risk management and see those NPOs that are managing their finances well, that we can also do the tranche payments. But I must indicate that even those that are struggling, we are supporting them in terms of a financial management. So what she is sharing with you is correct that we want to improve how we pay the non-profit organizations. Remember, the work that they are doing, it's the work for government. We are in partnership with them in terms of what is it that they offer.
Right.
You will find that...
Nelisiwe, sorry, can I come in there? Are you saying that there was actually no delay, but the NPOs that were not paid actually didn't qualify for the tranche payments, and that's why they didn't receive their money?
No, I'm not saying that. Remember, the tranche payments have started now in October. So I'm saying the delays as much as 2 months. I'm disputing a 2-month delay. I'm saying a delay could be within a month delay, whilst we are also processing their subsidy.
But you said that some of them haven't received their money because you were checking whether they were doing their work correctly and whether they qualify. You did say that some of them didn't qualify for tranche payments, didn't you?
I'm saying we introduced tranche payments for all the non-profit organizations that we have signed a service level agreement with. But out of those that we've signed a service level agreement, very few of them that we did not give them tranche payment, but we are taking them along so that they are in a position to actually manage a tranche payment, a payment that we give to them. But the issue of the tranche payment, it's a new thing that we've started now in October.
I'm sorry, I don't understand what the differentiation is. Femada, perhaps you are able to help us. You were listening to Nelisiwe's response there. Are there some organizations that simply just don't qualify at the moment in some way to receive this advanced payment?
So as the NPO network, it's the first time that I'm hearing about organizations that have not qualified. As of this morning, when we checked with the network, there were a few organizations that still haven't received the tranche payments, and they haven't received any kind of notification indicating that they do not qualify for tranche payments, hence they haven't received their payments as yet. So yeah, this is new to me as well. I obviously will check up with other people in the network just to understand whether they've been communicated with by the department in terms of not receiving their tranche payments because they didn't qualify for it. My understanding is that the tranche payment system was available to everybody, but obviously something that we need to check with the network members about as well.
Right. Nelisiwe, can you give us a simplified version of the new payment system that came into play in August and why there has been, Femada says, a 2-month delay for some, you say a 1-month delay for some. Can you just simplify it for us?
Thank you very much. If I simplify it, the tranche payment started in October 2023, this month, and we are still in October. There are those that we paid already in the first week of October, some in the second week, some next week, and so on. Is the new system of payment that we have effected in the province of KwaZulu-Natal. When we did the roadshow with a non-profit organization, we did explain that not all of them will qualify for tranche payments because we do a risk assessment. We are saying this because we know, we work with the NPOs, we know those NPOs that are struggling in terms of financial management. I'm making an example to you to say, if for 3 months you qualify for 300,000, I'm making an example. If we give you 300,000 in the first month, and then you finish the entire allocation in the first month, it means that the second and the third month you won't have money to actually do your business. This is all what we are explaining. And when we did the roadshow, we did clarify that to the non-profit organizations. They might not have reported to the network those because there are very few, if I can put it that way, very few of them. And remember, when we sign a service level agreement, it's an agreement between that particular NPO and the department. They know themselves, those who have challenges. And at the same time, I must indicate that we are supporting them in terms of ensuring that when it's time for month end, they are able to do reconciliation and account. Remember, they must account. These are public funds. So we cannot just issue funding where we can see that there are risks that needs to be managed. But I must indicate that we have received feedback that is very positive from the majority of the non-profit organizations appreciating the tranche payments that we've started as a province. So we are looking forward to work together with the non-profit organizations in order to ensure that we improve the lives of the people of KwaZulu-Natal as we work in partnership based on the agreements that we've signed with them.
So, Nelisiwe, if the tranche payments started in October, right, where does the 1-month delay come from that you were telling us about in your previous answer?
I think based on what she was saying, it's the history. It's a history that has made us to change how we manage the payments to the non-profit organizations. I was saying to you, the history is after the end of each month, 30th of, say, September, then within the first or 2 weeks, the NPOs start to submit their monthly claims, which then says that maybe by mid-October for the payment of September, there's still a process of actually ensuring that we do the reconciliation and everything, and then we pay the NPOs. So that is history that she is referring to. But also she did indicate that there was a historical background in terms of late payment of subsidies. So the agreement now is that we pay beginning of each quarter, and then we ensure that we pay for 3 months. I don't want to say in advance, but 3 months in advance, so that you know that the first month you have enough cash to manage your affairs. Second month there is enough cash. Third month you have enough cash. Then the following quarter we also pay you the first. That's how, in fact, if I can just indicate to you, we are given money by the provincial treasurer. We had to approach the provincial treasurer to say, this is how we want to make payments to the NPOs now. Can you please then make money available so that we can pay them in tranches? So we had to revise all what was submitted to the provincial so that they make money available for us to make tranche payments. It's a new system that we've started as the province. And as I'm indicating to you, we are receiving compliments and appreciation.
Nelisiwe, I'm sorry, I'm running short of time, and I want to just get clarity on this issue from the KZN NPO network as well. Femada, just your final comments. There's this delay on your side. There's a bit of a dispute coming through from the KZN Department of Social Development, the HOD at least. But she does say that NPOs are still getting support, even where there are payment delays. They are still getting financial support to try and do the work that they need to do. Can you just very quickly tell us whether that is true from what you've been told by your members?
Okay, that's not something that I'm aware of. So I think Mrs. Vilakazi did indicate that the support is in terms of capacity building, so enabling the NPOs to manage their finances more appropriately. So I don't think it's coming in financial support, right, but more in terms of capacity building. But just to 30 seconds in terms of clarity as well, the payment that we've received now in October is for the 3 months of September, October, November. So we're receiving the tranche payment in the second month of the quarter.
Right.
So it's coming in for 1 month a year. So it's 1 month a year and 1 month in advance, basically. But it's coming in the second month and based on the actual figures from September. That's how the tranche payment system seems to be working at this point in time.
I'm sorry, I have to leave it there for now. Unfortunately, we have run out of time for the discussion. There still does seem to be a number of unanswered questions, just insofar as where the delays are and how we can get this resolved. But let me thank both of our guests for your time, the KZN NPO Network and the HOD of the KZN Social Development Department.